Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV Edition. I'm Peter, that is Tim, and we are of course working our way through Tales from the Crypt, the original horror anthology series from HBO. This is going to be Season 2, Episode 18. It is the season finale, in fact, of Season 2. It is called The Secret. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. And also, apologies, we went on a bit of a break before that last episode. Which was a bit longer than expected, but we're back. This is our second one in a row, so we the odd week may be taken off, but we'll always be back. But here we go. So The Secret. This is about an orphan named Theodore, who is a bit of a troublemaker, but he is adopted by these incredibly rich people. This couple, these parents. The mother from Sarah Palmer from Twin Peaks, Laura's mother from that.
Oh yeah.
She was in the American remake of The Grudge. She's been in a bunch of stuff. Like she's all over the place. She's one of these characters.
Prolific.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the woman and her and her husband, and then they've got a butler who's played by Larry Drake, who plays the butler Tobias, who I like. He passed away last year, which is a shame.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew him. Funnily enough, originally from the Darkman series, like the Darkman movies.
Oh really?
I think he replaced Liam Neeson in the second two. Or was he the villain? He may have been the villain in the first one. It's been a long time, like guys. It's been a long time, but that's what I know him from mainly. But he's the sort of actor who pops up a lot as well. He and stuff from the 90s and 80s and stuff like that specifically. He pops up. In fact, Joe, he was in Bean, the ultimate disaster movie. I don't know. Did you ever see Mr. Bean?
Oh, I've seen like maybe a random episode or two on PBS. I never actually saw the movie.
Never saw the movie. Okay, cool.
There was a disaster movie with Mr. Bean?
Well, that's what it was called. You know how he was so clumsy and he always caused chaos? Yeah. The movie was called Bean, the Ultimate Disaster Movie.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
And he comes to Los Angeles, actually, and wreaks havoc, because he's employed at an art gallery, and they ship him off to an art gallery in America because they don't want him to cause them trouble. So
Was this like the original Brexit?
they claim that he's this great art professor, so that this American gallery will take him in, and they think he's this prestigious guy, but of course he's a complete and utter. He's Mr. Bean. He's a buffoon, and he ends up ruining one of the most famous paintings in the world, and he has to fix
those
it.
dogs playing poker.
No, I believe it's the Whistler's Mother. That was the painting.
Whistler's mother?
Whistler's Mother. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's a real painting, admittedly. It may just be made up for the movie, but at least in the movie, it's one of the most famous paintings in the world. It's probably real. I imagine they just pick a real painting. Okay, so you came here clearly for Mr. Bean talk for the first couple of minutes, which you've gotten in spades.
Yeah.
I liked that movie growing up. What can I say? I like Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean's pretty funny. All the movies that he's did since that first movie, I don't even think I finished the holiday one. It was terrible. But here we go. Tales from the Crypt.
Does he get like a chicken stuck on his head? Is that his thing?
Yeah, long before Joey from Friends was putting turkey on his head, Mr. Bean did it first.
Oh, brother.
Let it be known. Anyway, Tales from the Crypt. So the whole plot of this one, gets kidnapped. He gets adopted by this rich couple.
It's kind of like kidnapping. It's like a legal version of kidnapping.
To be fair, he doesn't want to go with them, and like the woman working in the orphanage is like, "No, you're going, you little shit. I don't want anything to do with you."
Yeah.
And she says a couple of lines along the lines of like, "Oh, we must never talk about his parents. His natural parents are not to be spoken of." So there's a little seed there. By the way, her and the other woman who works in the orphanage, the sort of nicer women, both of them are like really bad actors. The opening scene where they're kind of like whispering in hushed tones at night when the kids sneaking around getting food, I thought were particularly bad. But anyway, so this rich couple come and adopt him. They take him to their mansion and they lock him in his room. He's got a lot of toys. He's got a nice like train set. He's got lots of games to play. He's got a nice life. The butler comes and gives him ice cream on a regular basis, but they never let him outside, and they always disappear for most of the day. and they allude that they've got a secret as well, that they are like preparing something for him, but they're not going to tell him because it'd ruin the secret. And that's kind of that was basically most of the episode. It's him
Pretty much.
kind of befriending the butler kind of starts to like him, even though he's kind of gruff at first. And then the twist, the secrets that come out, this couple turn out to be vampires, and why they've been waiting, like, I get the impression they were fattening them up because they kept feeding them lots of like cake and ice cream.
I was under the impression that they were giving him all those sweets to sweeten his blood.
All right, okay.
Which I don't know if that's a real thing, but that's what it kind of seemed like they were doing, because she mentions like something a couple of times about like how sweet it'll taste, and
I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm really not sure. But it's lucky they did, because the other twist, the twist upon a twist, when they start chasing him outside and he makes a run for it. The butler tries to save him and gets killed, but he makes a run for it, and they eventually catch up to him. They're vampires. They're coming after him, and then he's like, "Oh, I know what the orphanage didn't want me to know about my parents, and it happens to be a full moon, so the kid turns out to be a werewolf." And then he's like, he starts killing the vampires, and that's kind of well, he goes back to the orphanage, and he's all dressed proper, and he kind of implies that he knows what he is now, so you have to do what I say, you old bitch, and that's kind of the ending. Yeah. My first problem with the whole like nighttime stuff when they're out chasing each other, and even early on in the I was gonna say movie, early on in the episode when they're out for a walk at night, it's clearly shot at day for night.
Yeah,
it looks like shit. It's got that sort of blue tint to it,
like,
and they've darkened it, but it looks like shit.
Yeah, I don't know if they. You'd probably know the techniques more than me, but it looks like they just used some type of like blue filter or something on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I said
it looked crappy.
I said it a bit quickly, admittedly, but it's called day for night time. It's when you shoot. A lot of Italian movies used to do it back in like the 70s, and it always looked like crap in those as well. Not all of them, but it was something that I sort of think about with them. But it looks really shitty because it's just a blue tint, and they just turn down the brightness a bit, make it all blue, and it looks really fake. And I guess maybe the reason here was that they couldn't have the kid at night, so they had to shoot it during the day or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just, you know what? If it's going to cost more to make sure the kid can work for like a couple of nights, let him work for a couple of goddamn nights. Like, just this looks bad. This one was kind of...
Dude, this one straight up sucked.
Alright, okay.
I thought this one was pretty bad.
I didn't hate it. I just thought it was like... I can almost just imagine the room where they were thinking up the ideas. And I get that it was based on like one of the old issues for the comics, so I'm maybe more talking about the comic writers and artists like years ago, rather than the creators of the episode. But just, it was like, alright, so... turns out they're vampires, and it turns out the kid's a werewolf. He's more strong than them, and I'm like, because he says at one point, "Oh, werewolves are the natural enemies of vampires." I'm like, are they?
I guess.
But before Underworld, there was this episode of Tales from the Crypt.
But the like I don't know if you were surprised, but I knew right away, because there's this one shot where they just they show a shot of a full moon, and then the next day you see him like coming back into the orphanage after being outside and all dirty and stuff. And after that, like, it was pretty early on in the episode, I'm like, well, he's definitely a werewolf. They're like, you don't just show a full moon and then someone waking up in the woods and not have them.
Here's my problem with this though. How does he not know that he's a werewolf before this scene at the end? Like, because this is him finding out as he's transformed. He's like, oh, now I know what my secret is. I'm a werewolf. I'm like, how do you not already know this then? If you've like,
that doesn't make any sense. And then, I mean, does just locking a person in their room really affect it that much? Like, I feel like she needs to like chain him up or something, like Oz from Buffy.
I can accept the locking would get to him, but not right away. Like, I think if he's locked just for like a couple hours, like a day, that's fine. I think when it becomes clear that they're locking him from like day until night, and he's not allowed out the room at all. That's when it feels like, okay, this is like kind of weird cruelty or something. Like,
Well, I'm even talking before that though, because he was locked in at night at the orphanage too.
all right, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Well, not always though. She only did that after he snuck out to get food.
I was under the impression that she knew what his secret was, so she did that.
Oh, she did. She
Like,
did. She did know what his secret was. Yeah.
but I thought maybe like she would do that on nights of like when it was a full moon
Oh
or
yeah, maybe.
whatever.
But like the night he sneaks out, it's not a full moon though. She just does it because
Yeah.
she's pissed at him for sneaking out and stealing food. Which I guess the fact that he gets hungry at night is a hint that he's got more of an appetite. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I
Also,
didn't.
what like freak of nature has just one like chicken wing in the fridge? I don't know. That just seemed really odd to me.
The budgeting department when they don't want to spend more money on chicken, I guess. I don't.
Have you ever I don't know about you, I love chicken wings, but sometimes you'll have leftovers, but you never just like have just one remaining where you're like, I better put that in the fridge and have a snack that will leave me not satisfied the
Do
next
you know what
day.
it's like? It's like a cartoon. It's like in Tom and Jerry when they'd open the fridge and you'd have the one bit of meat, like with a bone sticking out of it. That's what it's kind of like.
That's true.
Yeah, and one apple as well. Just one apple, not a bag of
Yeah.
apples, not a bunch of apples. Just one apple.
I'll tell you what else really annoyed me about this episode. Once the couple reveal themselves to be vampires, the guy, he was like wearing a straight up like 99-cent Halloween cape. Like his like vampire outfit or whatever you'd want to call it looked so bad. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. I mean, I like Larry Drake. I think the cast is like not like women at the orphanage, but the main cast are okay. Honestly, it's just kind of boring. It's kind of the biggest thing. I don't think it's the worst episode though. This season, there's a couple. We disagreed heavily on the freak show one, and
All right.
I legitimately still think that's a worse episode. But this is definitely
Oh,
on.
no.
This is definitely on the weekend. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
This is. There's nothing, and it's a shame because we had like 2 or 3 there that were really good in a row. Because we had the TV
Yeah.
one, the guy doing the haunted house stuff.
Yeah.
We had the artist, the comic book artist one, and like
Right.
we've had a nice little run of like solid ones for the most part. And
I think overall this second season has been pretty enjoyable, but
it
this
has.
is
It's been oddly weird in the second half though. I feel like we had a run from about like episode like 3 to 8 where we didn't really like a lot of them. They were all kind of
Yeah.
okay. But then
Yeah.
this second half was mostly pretty good
Yeah.
until this one, which was kind of, and the fairground and the freak show one, which I didn't like. But well, there we go. That's that one. Yeah, I like Larry Drake. He's okay. He seems to like sort of grow fond of the boy like by the end. But the truth is though, is most of it is just him in the room being annoyed that he's in the room and occasionally eating ice cream and or cake.
Yeah. There really isn't much going on, and it's kind of frustrating. It's not even that long of an episode, but I still felt myself saying like, get to the point. We obviously know something's up. These parents are acting super weird. The butler does seem to have a like he's very stoic as a butler, but you can kind of tell that he's starting to feel like something towards the boy.
Do you know what this is? This is the prequel. This is the inspiration for The Visit.
Oh god.
This is the inspiration for The Visit. That's what this is. Do you know, I think it says a lot though that we're only just about over 10 minutes. We tangented for Mr. Bean for like 3 of those minutes, and we're still kind of struggling to think of more things to talk about because there's so little that really happens in the episode. It's really just quick and weak and done. Like there's nothing going on.
You ever think about when you watch something like this, how much it must have used to suck to be a kid? Like all those, like he's supposed to have this crazy awesome room that any kid would kill for, but it's just like you got like a toy train, a rocking horse, maybe like a little cowboy hat
Well,
and stuff.
I think the problem with when a kid gets their dream room full of presents in a movie is that they can never use like licensed stuff. When in reality, all of our toys growing up were probably from something. Like it was Power Rangers, it was Turtles, it was Batman, it was whatever, Ghostbusters. Like it was from something. We like. So when we see like generic trains and generic toys in a movie, it's like I wouldn't be excited for this shit. What are you talking about? This is boring.
Yeah.
Where the hell's my Megazord? Like, that's how you kind of feel, because that's just. But obviously, they don't want to pay for the rights just to have a scene where the kid gets all these toys. Uh, it works though with the fake thing, like Turbo Man and Jingle All the Way. That kind of works because it's not real, but it's like a superhero that we'd have, or a TV show
Yeah.
we'd have. So you understand it. It works pretty well.
Do you ever go to like a gas station or something? Like, I think last year I took a trip up to San Francisco with some friends, and like when we were like driving back, we were just stopping at like gas stations and stuff. And you just go, they'll have like these random toy aisles, and it'll just have like all these cheap knockoff toys, like Star Battles. It'll
Oh
just be
yeah.
like,
And there's always at least one red, shitty, cheap car just in a box.
oh yeah,
There's always the generic car toy.
yeah,
Uh, and you used to hate getting those stupid presents because they were just pointless. You didn't do anything with them. Like, I don't give a shit.
yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, even as like a young kid, you're savvy enough to know like brand awareness.
Yeah, that was exactly the sort of crap like an auntie or something would get you, because they didn't know you well enough to go out of their way to get something proper, so they just get you like some generic thing, either that or like something really shitty like a pair of socks. But at least
Yeah.
the socks I'd use, like the knockoff toy, I'd just leave somewhere else. I want no part of it. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
I remember one time as a kid, my friend had come over and he's all excited and he's like, "Hey, this other kid down the street got in trouble and his mom is taking all his toys and dumping them out in the sandbox on the playground. It's like anyone can just like go and take them." And then it was this big exciting thing where like this kid's mom just like threw all his toys away, and all like the kids from the neighborhood were like, "Oh my God," flipping out over it.
Clearly, we want to talk about this Tales from the Crypt.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of a nothing episode. There you go. That's it. Done, dusted.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
E-
But
I feel like even the kid's werewolf didn't look that great,
oh no, holy shit.
man.
Holy
And then like
shit.
it's not like there's any cool kills. It was kind of just him jumping and
It felt
biting
like
a little
it
bit.
just felt like such a half measure of an episode. Like everything was just kind of like, oh, we need to squeeze out one more. Just get a shitty werewolf costume, get some fake vampire teeth, and as opposed to real vampire teeth.
You know, the kid gets pretty cocky when he gets back to the orphanage, but you know, the lady should be like, "Well, you're not a werewolf now. I can like, you know, beat you up or like put you in a cage." Like,
Hey, if we ended with a scene of the old woman beating him up, beating this like kid up with like fisticuffs, that would have saved the episode, I think. Yeah, I can't get too angry at it though, because it's just really, I mean, it's shitty, but it's not.
it's super forgettable.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not,
forgettable
like,
and it's shitty, but it's not like
yeah.
anger inducing. It's not like, oh my god, this is annoying me actively. It was just kind of, it exists. It's a thing. It's there.
Yeah.
And we've tangented enough that we've actually stretched the length out of this. So let's wrap this up, shall we? So
Alright.
yeah, we'll be back obviously next week with more Tales from the Crypt. Let us know. Obviously, we'll starting season 3 next
Season
time.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at us go. Typically, if I was in the season of a show, I'd have a discussion overall about the season, which we kind of did. We talked about how it was weighed more to the second half, and there was some good, there was some bad. It's kind of, we can't really go any deeper than that though with this show, because it is an anthology, and it's just like, it doesn't really mean anything that it's in a season. Like with another show, you have an arc, you have a story that starts at the start and ends at the end, and you can talk about how that story compares to the previous season. But here it's just a bunch of stories, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. If you've seen it, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. I'm at Wibble89 on Twitter. Tim's at TimVerGoolish if you want to get us on there. But that's us, guys. So thanks for watching. Keep watching TV, and we'll see you next time.